How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's doing fine. I just did two music videos. I really liked them. Um, and I hope everything works out with them. But anyway, now I've also did my I was working on my database or the access program. We're going to talk about that, and just probably not in this YouTube, but I'm going to mention it a little bit. But we have a lot of important things because I got some comments that I'm going to answer. Okay. Okay. So let's get to it. Okay. So what this one's going to be is just basically going to be in the comments about. It's pretty much about like other religions. One is about other religions groups I put down. Um, and also, I'm going to answer some questions about, like I said, the access program. But I'm going to get to it. I wrote these notes already. Okay, first of all, I want to say this. I want to say everything, no matter what, it has to fit like a puzzle, okay? It's just one aspect of life. It has to be organized in order for a lot of people to get along together. Everybody's working, everybody's doing what they have to do. The only thing about the system that we live in now is there's a lot of people who pretty much just want to mess things up. I mean, that's the whole thing. They get a joy. You ever get a joy out of making someone happy? Well, there's people who get a joy out of making people unhappy. Okay? So that's pretty sad. And that's how the system is. And that's a point that I want you to think about as we do this YouTube. Okay? Now, like I said, everything has to fit like a glove. I mean, I'm not going to use that term. Everything has to fit like in a puzzle, and like I said, connect the dots. So it's not just like a puzzle. So I'm going, because I don't want it to sound so, I'm not saying elementary. I don't want it to sound so, should I say cliche? I guess that's the closest. No, I don't want to say that either. I don't want it to sound as if it's one answer. So I'm going to put it in a way that you will see that it's like life. Because if I just put it in everything as like a puzzle, but life is filled with so many things. So I can't say it's just like a puzzle. So I have to say other things. So I'm going to say it's like a puzzle. It's like connecting the dots. It's like a play, working on a play, doing a screenplay, being an actor in a play. Um, the basis of a movie. So see if I can do other things. Creating a work of art like a painting, making a song, singing a song. So are you understanding how I'm going? It's like all those things. But I also put down like going on a vacation. It's like planning to have children. It's like going to college. It's like having a car and taking care of it. It's like that. So I'm keeping those examples so that we can understand what, as we go into this comment. Now, the comment says, may I ask how God works through any so called religion? Okay, there's one thing that we've always had. You ever I'm sorry. I think what happens when I do is just that my body gets ready to do this comment and goes, okay, let's get everything ready now. And then I have to, then my signs get clogged, but everything's all right. But, okay, so let's go over the comment again. Okay, let me see. Okay. May I ask how God works through any so-called religion. Okay, now, just say any religion, like Christian religion, Methodist, or whatever. I'm putting them all together. One thing that we never realize when we think about these things and ponder these real big questions like this is that we have to look at the context of what's happening. First of all, I think that God has pretty much, I'm not going to say that. I'm going to act as if he's not taken over, as if it's just Satan's world, which it has been Satan's world. That's one thing we have to take into consideration, okay? Say that it's not God's world. That's one thing. Whenever we think about this question, we have to think about one, it's not his world. What's another thing we have to think about? I'm not, it's not going to be that many things. And I'm going to say, number two, so I'm just going to say two things. What we have that we don't really realize, because we're in a system that we don't agree with, okay? That is not working. I mean, it's working because we're working so hard, but it's not going in the direction to where we can see that everything's going to work out. And there's one thing, like I've been stressing in so many times, is that we're individuals, and we started out as that when we became free. Okay, whether we like Christians or not, we have to say that was the time when individuals had a say in things. Okay, they could overthrow things because Jesus put it in our minds. I'm sorry if you don't believe in that, but however you believe in it, I'm just saying there was every time I get that word, it's so hard for me to, a specific time in history or whatever when individuals took over. Let's just say that, okay? But in a Christian light, I have to say in a Christian light, because I believe in God, we have at a certain time was able to have the power to pray to God ourselves, okay? That's a strength that we have. So we have this world that is always wants to collapse. And then you have the individuals which can pray to God. They don't have to pray to God. There's a lot of people who don't have to, but they still have individual power. But I'm talking about those Christians who believe in God, since this question is talking about different how God works through so-called other religions. So we are talking about God and religion. So I don't have to, I can just deal with that, the people who believe in God for now. So individuals, I keep saying that is because it's so important. It's something that we miss. It's something that is not recorded in history, okay? Because like for instance, America, and they tried to build America, but when they came here, they needed God, and they prayed to God, and they said, in God we trust, okay? But one thing we overlooked, those are groups of people or government that was trying to be formed. But while that was forming, there were individuals who were also praying to God. So that's three things. We have Satan's organization, or this organization that we live in. We have individuals that were, how did I put that? Because I had three things, but it's not really three things. So let's keep going with the individuals. Okay, so we got the three things, okay? We have individuals, and now we have those who make history, okay? So you have your history makers, which are, like, for instance, the people who wrote up the Constitution and everything. And then you have the individuals, okay? And a lot of people overlook the strength of the individuals because it's not going to be in history, okay? Because it's every individual person. Only God can handle that. And then you have Satan's world. I'm just going to say his world is still here. It's still bad. It's still just messed up, okay? So we have those three things which are in effect. But the problem is that we just see the governments and we just see the badness in the world, but we don't realize the individual power that we have, which is going to answer a question that should I answer it now? No, I'm not going to answer it now. So we have those three things, but the problem is that we overlook the individual power. I want to answer this question, but I'm not going to. Okay. And so, first of all, we have to say, where would these religions fit? Where would the religions fit? You know? That believe in God, I'm going to read it again, as how God works through any so-called religion. Okay, so the reason why I mentioned government and history makers is because the religions would have to fit under the government and the history makers. Okay, so if you're living, because there's some countries they don't have religion or anything. It's just individuals. Everywhere is individuals, but people don't realize that. So now we have the religious groups, and like I said, we have the history makers, which are the people that make the history, and that's everything that we have to learn, and that's the information that we have. And then under those would be the religions, okay? Now we got to look at it this way. The religions would be under the governments, okay? Because there's freedom of religion here, but why is it freedom of religion? Well, it's freedom of religion because our government allows us to have freedom of religion. It's not everywhere, okay? So our freedom of religion and the way we do things religiously, as far as a religion, is under the government, okay? And then you have the individuals, and then you have the world. So you have all these things working together, but they seem like they're one all the time. But they're not. I mean, yeah, they're one because they're all mixed together, okay? Because in the government, you have the system, the very bad system of things that we're living under, okay? And then you have it's all together. And then the individuals have to live in the system that's all messed up, okay? And then you have the rules of Satan's system, or the bad system that we have today, okay? So actually they could be in three different parts, but they work, but they're all together, okay? It's very important that you understand. If you could divide all of those things in a way, like I can divide them, okay, I see Satan's world right here. I see the individuals, and I see the government and the history makers, okay? I can see that. And I can see that in this, I have to talk about United States of America, their religions have to follow certain rules and guidelines because they don't want to pay taxes and things like that, okay? It's just the way it is. Not just that, because it's in the Satan's system. If it's in the Satan's system, they're not going to get off scot-free, okay? Whatever religion okay, it's going to be affected by the bad system. Impossible. It's going to be affected some kind of way. The only thing that doesn't really get affected is the individuals, okay? Why? Because the individuals, if they want, they're ruled by God. I want to be ruled by God, Jesus Christ. So I'm an individual. I have a power. And now I think I'm going to answer this question. Yeah. Okay, now, since I got it straight and it's not going to like tumble, I think I'm going to answer this question of this person that said, with the groups, I'm going to put ex-Jehovah Witnesses first. Okay. I'm going to read it again. May I ask how God works through any so-called religion? Now, just say the ex-Jehovah Witnesses, they're not a religion. So, this is a power because they don't fit under the government, okay? No, they don't fit under the government. They're not fitting under the government because they're free human beings. And they don't fit under Satan's world, but they live in it, okay? If you understand what I'm talking about, the reason why I'm saying the purpose of the ex-Jehovah Witnesses, if they believe in God, but they don't have to, because some people don't believe in God. This is one truth. Some people say they don't believe in God, and I can see God, and He goes, and He'll ask them. He'll go, "I want you to help those people in Africa. They're in a remote part of Africa called, I'm just going to make up a name, Humbakana, and they need some kind of help. It's not that many people, but I want you to go there. And the one who doesn't believe in God, they'll run. Oh, I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this." And they don't, God asks them because He knows that they're going to do it, okay? But they don't believe in God. But yet God, they'll listen to Him, okay? And then you can get a Christian, and God would say, "You know what? I want you to go across the street because there's somebody who needs some help. And I want you to give that person, let me see, give them what they want. It won't be that much." And they'll go, "Boy, no, I'm not going to do that." And they think about it for a second. "No, I'm not going to do that. I have to plan for this party, this get-together that I'm going to, this Christian get-together." Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say. So I'm saying the power of the individual. So as ex-Jehovah Witnesses, if we believe in God, I'm one person. I have a power. I know I have a power, okay? I believe in God. My power is believing God. If I ask for something, I pretty much know He's going to answer. So if you have, which I'm almost sure, just say 1,000 of me who think the way I do. Just think about that power, because I'm one person and I'm speaking to God. And then you get 1,000 of them and they're speaking to God. But we're not under any religion. Okay? So that's the power that we have. Okay? Okay, so now that answered that question. Okay, now I'm getting back, which I've already started this question. Now the individual religions. Now the individual religions, every religion, I'm just saying not the bad ones like the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sorry, I have to say that. Just maybe they're too strict, or maybe they follow too many rules or whatever. They still have the individuals, okay? But in order to make it anywhere in this world physically, there's rules that not rules, I'm not saying rules, there's things that has to happen because you're in Satan's world. And then there's rules of the government. So those are conflicts. When I say of Satan's world, there's so many things that happen. And like I said, there's just like people who just want people to be unhappy. So that's part of it. It's not like rules, it's influence. Let's call it that. Let's call it the influence of the world. So no, I don't care what kind of Christian organization you have, there's the influence of the world, of the wicked world, or Satan. Okay, so so that's what we have of this system. Okay, so no matter what religion you have, you're going to have that influence some kind of way. Okay, and and nobody can stop that. Okay, but just say A religion, B religion, and C religion, the groups, like she said. Just say there's just three. I'm going to mention just three of them. So you have A religion, and their Christian organization, and they're strict. They're like too strict. They follow the Bible, but they follow it too physically or whatever, okay? If you're doing something like that, most likely it's caused by an influence, a wrong influence, a bad influence of the system of things, this wicked system of things, okay? But we have the individuals inside A. And inside A, if they're too strict, what we don't know and what the influence, which has also effect on the individuals, they use that sternness of the religion to guard people from their individual power. Okay, so the person will never think, hey, you know, this place is so bad. I mean, it's too strict. I mean, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know, and I just want to serve God. And not allow them to think, like, pray to God and say, hey, I mean, God, I cannot take this. This is too strict. This is not the way that you do things. I know. Okay. But every time they can't talk to other people because they're under that system. But if everybody in that A system were to pray to God and believe, you have to believe that God is here, just like that system is here, it's more powerful. You can't do anything to it. So if it's just one person, God can help that person to get out or whatever. But if it's so many people, they would, because of the free will, they would have to pray to God and ask them, ask him, why is this way? Why is this that way? But I can't get too complex. Now going to B system, just like, okay, I'm going to say Catholic. Okay, just say a Catholic religion, okay? Because they have a human religion, they were affected also, okay? They can pray to God and they could do the same thing. They have the power of the individuals, okay? If they don't agree with something, they have an individual power. But because of the way the system is, and because of the way that it's an imperfect structure, that's going to sidetrack them from knowing that they have the ability to speak to God individually and God will answer. And then you have C. Oh, how can C be? What could it be in C? Okay, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to just say a Jehovah Witness for C, okay? You have the individuals, okay, which are blinded by the world, okay? I'm talking about by Satan's system, totally. And they're so blinded that they can't even, there's no way in the world that they could use their individual power of prayer and speaking to God. And there's one other thing that I put in the access program for C, for the Jehovah's Witnesses, and that was prayer, because we were taught when you pray, okay, and you have to pray, okay, because you need a communication with God. They were taught that you have to use Jehovah's name, and then you have to say, in Jesus Christ, amen. Okay? So it's totally a mixed up way of praying, instead of just saying, God, would you please help me? And believe me, I was a Jehovah's Witness. And the only way I could, I didn't pray. I prayed to the wrong way, not even talking to God, and then saying, through Jesus Christ. So the only reason with me, which I'm sure a lot of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, is God saw something in them that they would help other people, and he got them out. Because, he was there, yes, but I didn't know how to talk to him. And why is it important for A, B, and C to talk to God, to pray with God? Because that's how we do things. We're individuals. We have a free will. And with the free will, we have a freedom to not know anything, or freedom to know everything, okay? So our individual power is very important, but we have another power, as ex-Jehovah's Witnesses have, and that is the power to help other people who are blinded. And it's just very important that other people help other people. That's very important. So as I said, in the other organizations and other Christian organizations, I told you the effects. It is not something simple. Even the Catholic religion, even the okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this, okay? I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say this. Like, even the Catholic religions, they talk, and they have something that they probably don't even realize. When they spoke out against, like, I can't say the how can I say, gay community? Not just gay, because the LBG community, I don't know all the letters, but at first it was the gays themselves, but what they don't realize is it's caused people for them to be killed, okay, for them to actually be slaughtered for no reason, okay. So that's an effect that the world had on, as far as they were concerned. It affected Satan's organization, affected everybody. Some religions were, like I said, those religions, they were prejudiced against the blacks, okay? A lot of them, especially in the United States, okay? But that's the influence. Although they knew the Bible and everything, but they were living in Satan's organization. And all of them that did that did not, even the government, I'm also going to use the governments, and the governments, okay? They still have to live in that system of things. So they pretty much have to sacrifice on all of them. They all had to sacrifice, and even now, they sacrifice innocent people, not animals. I'm talking about innocent people. But that's the effects. All the negative things from the Christian organization is the effects of the influence of Satan's organization, because they influence everything. But what keeps us going together is the individual power. The individual power. And like I said, you could believe in God, or you could think you believe in God, or you could not believe in God. We all don't know. I do. But we all don't know who, when they say it, we don't know who believes in God and who doesn't believe in God. But we have the power of the individual. But in each system, they're trying to distract you from yourself. Because if they distract you from yourself, they can keep their power. But I don't say anything against, like, the Christian organizations. They're very good. I'm part of a Christian organization. It's very important. But in the Catholic religion, you also learn when you don't agree with something, they they tell you that you have to have a relationship with God. So it's a separate, totally separate thing. And it's like, it's so beautiful. That's another part of the religion I like, is that, there's been some things that they ask and they will say, they will tell you. They said, you know that you have your relationship with God. So in each religion, you have to utilize your strength as a person. And now I answered the question about each Christian organization. You can have as many Christian organizations as you want. But the thing about it is, you have to know that there's an influence, and you can enjoy any Christian. And it's funny because in the Catholic organization, the Catholics that know that there's something else in their Catholic religion, they know the truth about what's going on as far as God's organization that has an effect on that religion. They don't say anything. There was a priest one time, and he was giving a talk of God's not here. You could say he was saying it, but it affected nobody because, especially in Denver, they were really, really something else. Christians, they knew their power and strength was so strong that they knew everything he said. They just goes, next. Can we get to the next person? So that's the very important part. And I hope I answered that question. And let me see. I'm almost sure I answered the question. And it's 32 minutes. So in the gist of this question is that it works through the individual, okay? And if you're the thing about it is in a religion, you can't go to somebody else. You can pray. If you pray about it, yes. If you pray that you want to help other people in the organization to make it better, then it will work, okay? But a lot of people are sidetracked about the individual power which they have to pray to God. And like, everybody talks about demons, everybody talks about Satan, and they'll be so interested. But as soon as you tell them that, yes, excuse me, God is here and he does so many things. Here. But they won't even listen. They will be like, oh yeah, because they're distracted. Oh yeah. And then somebody told me something. They'll tell me something, how beautiful something happened to them. And I'll go to them and I go, did they actually realize that God actually helped them? And they just said, oh, I just had such a beautiful day, such and such and such and such, and that happened and that happened and that. I'm so happy. But if something bad happens, they will say, okay, oh yeah, Satan did this and Satan did that. But he likes it when you do that. But the thing about it is when we have something beautiful in our life, we should actually thank God. I thank him all the time. And I had so hard work today. It was just, I don't even want to tell you what I do, but it was so hard work. And I said, why am I continually doing this? And you know what I said after work? I go, you know what? I really enjoyed it. You know why I enjoyed it? I said, because you want me to do it. And that's the only reason why I really liked my very, very hard main labor job. Okay, so let me go on. So you say people together make the power, and I accept that. Okay, but this is not what I said. I didn't say, okay, I do say people together make power. Yes, that's true. The truth is everything you do is the truth. Okay, but what people don't realize when I say everything you do is the truth, they don't even think anything about it. Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm a teacher. Okay, I did this. Okay, it's no big deal. Everything I do is the truth. That's really nice. But the thing about it is, when do they say something? Like, okay, let's say if somebody stole their identity, then they will go, no, that's not me. I did this, I did that, I did that. Then they see the truth. But you don't wait until something happens. Whatever you do, enjoy your truth, because you're doing this. You woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning. You're doing that. That's the truth. I mean, but the thing about it, it goes further than that. Okay, it goes deeper, and I told you it goes deeper. I don't think I'm gonna get into it, because the truth can be, I mean, you could say everything you did today, and then you could say anything that you do at work, and then you could say anything you did during the month. Okay, but it goes the it goes the other way too. Like, for instance, what did I say? Anything you did during the day, then it breaks down. It goes down like everything you do, like every step you take, that it goes backwards. Every breath you take. So that's why I didn't go the other way. I just went that way, because to find the truth. Because if you keep going backwards, you find out yourself. But don't do it. It takes a long time. Start out in the beginning, okay? So I said people together, yes, when they come. So I was saying everything you do is the truth. And then if you work with somebody else, that's a power. So that's one power. But there's another power which is blended together. So you have the power. You got to look at what power. Are you talking about the power just working with the person? Yes, like we're working together in the comments, because these certain friends are helping me. So that's a power that I have, okay? I got to thank them, and everybody's going to be all right. I mean, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So that's a power, but then there's another power. The power that we're doing, the power that I'm doing to serve God. God, see, just say 100 people. They all have a power when they work together. But then there's another power, okay? So that's their power that they pretty much own. Anything on earth, they pretty much own. Like, for instance, the power that they're doing, like the Ex-Jehovah Witnesses are doing alone. I mean, they're helping each other, like we're all on YouTube. That's a power that we own, okay? And we have all the influence and everything, but we're still going to do it. You know, we have the government and we're still doing it. But, because not everybody believes in God. But just say 100 people that know God and have a relationship with Him. That's another power. So that's what I'm trying to say as far as the different religions. It's just that we don't look at the individual powers. Oh, so how does God work to help us? That's what I mean. I mean, like, how does He help us? It could be so many different ways. An A, B, and C different relation. Because we've expressed to Him our concerns, and He can answer the question. He will answer you. Like, He will answer you. And that's how He works. That's how He works. That's how He works. He works through the individuals. Everything I said is, we got to know that He helps us through our prayers. And like I said, just say A, B, and C, okay? A, B, and C religion. He's going to listen to the prayers. But I explained to you the way it works, the individual power. And if there's 10 people who are in a religion and they're saying, and they all have that same problem, you got to trust Him. he will answer your prayers. That's the only thing I can say. That's how it works. First of all, and to answer that question, I had to explain that there's the three things, but the most important thing is the individual. That's how he works, through individuals. And although there's A, although there's B, and although there's C, the way he works is through the individuals. That's the only thing I can say. And like for instance, Jehovah Witnesses, the ex-Jehovah Witnesses want to help the Jehovah's Witnesses. So that's how he can help the C religion. Okay? Maybe the Catholics, there's problems in the Catholic Church. The people pray to God, and God listens, and he will straighten things out. The Catholic churches came a long way. I mean, you know that. Okay? But they needed that way to where they can correct themselves. Okay? And then the A religion, God will, if there's one person, I mean, he most likely will tell them, find a different way to get them out. But if in that A religion, if there's a lot of people, like maybe even 2 or 3, he will make sure that things change, okay? Because he has prayers from 3, 4 people, he will make sure that that changes, okay? It's just no doubt. I've seen it. But the people have to believe in him, and they have to trust him. But like I told you before, is people are usually in situations like that. They don't want you to listen to God. They don't want you to talk to God. But the way that it works, how he helps them, is through individuals. He could do so many things. If there's 3 people, he can do it. I don't want to say any situation, but he can do it. Like he's helping the ex-Jehovah Witnesses. So he works through the individual, okay? If there's enough people, like for instance in the government, if there's enough people that listen to him, it's so much easier to it's so much easier to get something right. So that's why it's important, not like Jehovah's Witnesses, that's why it's important that certain religious groups, and a lot of religious groups, do things in the government because they can help more people because they believe in God with their individual power. Can there be any corporations which generate revenue using God and Jesus? And like I explained about that, because I explained to you the 3, so all in all, you have the 3 systems. You have the individuals, you have the organizations, the government, the organizations, and then you have Satan's influence. And you have to figure it out now you can be able to figure it out from there, how God works through the individuals. As far as the corporations, we're doing it, okay? As far as the corporations, we're doing it for the ex-Jehovah Witnesses. We're doing it, and we got to keep going. Who's helping us? Okay, it's God helping us. I know that, because he's got me lit up with this thing. Okay, so, and then the last question, please tell me, some of you have my email. I'm going to put my email out if you want to ask specific questions, or more just specific questions, or anyway, if you need to email, I'm going to put it up. Okay, groups, I did that one. And then about the access program, I'm going to answer this question since we've already gone this far. Think about doing a weekly, I wrote it so poor, a weekly update of your access field table. That would be interesting to follow. Yes, the access program is not just that. That program is going to help us with something else. We're doing it for ex-Jehovah Witnesses, but it's in the mind. When something's in the mind, like I told you, there's puzzles. Life is puzzles, life is this, life is that. it helps you out with something else. And it's a powerful program. It's not done before. It's not done. This one is a very powerful program. And then one thing I told you, and what's it like the book also, it says, also, is it the same or different information from the record book you've been created? Now, remember when I did the record book? You got to remember, listen to everything. That's why I don't edit things out, because you could catch so many things. When I did the edit book, I said, we don't know what is going to happen next, because you have to, a lot of people don't do this. They want to plan everything. Okay, I'm going to do this record book, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. You can't do that. First you do the record book, okay? Then you let it sink in, because what you think is, you think that your mind is just figuring out things. It doesn't just figure out things, but it also gets stronger. A lot of people don't realize that. When you understand something, oh yeah, I see now. Most of the time it's not because you figured it out. It's because you reconstructed everything in your mind. That's the honest truth. But do we give ourselves time to reconstruct everything? Most people don't. So when I did the book, I made sure I just did that and let it just sink in and with everything. And then after it strengthened everything, it became the Access program. So then after I do the Access program, while I'm doing it now, and this helps me to do it more, it develops into some, believe me, you don't know the power. When I say that there's a power in it, you're going to see the power. You're going to be firsthand experience. And I'm going to make it to where, like I said, I'm going to put my email up, and the people who want a copy of it, like as it's going on, they can do it, and they can help me, and they can add into. But it's a powerful thing. I mean, it's a powerful thing. Honestly, I can see it. Like I said before with that book, I didn't want to see what was going to develop in, because the mind has to change everything. Like, for instance, like, you have to give your mind, and it can do it too. It can recycle everything that you know to fit everything. Okay? That's just a little, I can't go any further with this, because this is going to be too long. I'm sorry. So, then it goes, will the program allow you to create mathematical labels such as percentage and average once you've categorized information? I know that we're going to see what's going to happen, but the program is going to be awesome. It's not something that you've seen before. Okay, thank you very much. And now it's almost an hour. Thanks for the comments. You helped me out. We strengthen each other, but that's our strength. And then we have God's strength also. So let's stop there. Thank you.